In case you're just joining us, it's still your favorite business program on television. I did say earlier that it's going to be an interactive one today. I really want to hear from you what you think about the state of the economy. But my guest is with me right now, Princewill Eziukwu, who is a development finance expert. Princewill, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nancy.
How are you?
Fine.
Okay. Talk to me about your own perception of the economy, at least in the last few months. I do know there is an economic recovery process going on, at least from the numbers. The Nigerian economy has come out of a recession, but it's still a fragile growth. Talk to me about your own perception.
Okay, at least...
oh, you had to say.
Yeah, it's a serious question, and I feel I'm happy that we are experiencing relative growth, in as much as it's still lower than our national population growth. Because until the growth rate becomes higher than the average population growth, we won't have the impact. Of course, if you look at a few months ago, World Bank have to change the projection, Nigeria's projection for 2018 and 2019. They increased it to 2.3. Now, that's also a good one. At least it shows that, and of course, relatively, the prices of oil outside for the past 1 week, that because of the sanctions, the issue between America and Iran, so it's pushing oil down. So I think right now, I think
but
it's
still
looking
within the $70.
Of course, it's still within
range.
the at least. Then if you look at our exchange rate, the naira against dollar exchange rate have actually gotten somewhere. It have stabilized a bit within that 360 and thereabouts. So I feel right now it's a good one. And the MPC, their last meeting, they also returned all the indices, which is also in line. But the figures we are hearing or we are getting is that the next one, they might increase the interest rate, which I agree with them because of increased political activities, which we'll be experiencing immediately. Some of these political parties finish their primaries. So we'll be looking at more funding into the economy, more money that before now not in circulation. We'll be experiencing them, or we'll be seeing them right into the economy. So they need to curtail it. Then you look at the US, the Federal Reserve Bank. I think also in September when they will be meeting, I think they will also possibly increase their interest rate. And of course, if US increases interest rate, automatically Nigeria need to increase, at least to still remain.
That's the subject for discussion.
Of course.
Because what we're seeing in the United States now has made a kind of capital outflow, even from our stock market, even for our foreign reserves and all of that.
No, yes, there is this, investors are being skeptical at this point in time. Nobody knows what is going to happen. China is actually saying we are going to increase import tariff on liquefied natural gas to 25%. So everybody right now is holding and waiting. Of course, there is a very high level of global uncertainty. Of course, Nigeria is part of the globe, so that uncertainty, which we saw like 2-3 days now in the Nigerian stock exchange, shedding a whole lot of. Yesterday alone was over 0.19%. That's over 20 billion. So if you look at it, you will agree with me that investors, everybody right now is just watching like what is going to happen. Okay,
I said earlier on that it's going to be an interactive session today, so you can start calling the numbers. I guess it should be on the screen shortly. Yes, those are the numbers. So start calling them. Let's hear from you. And if you call, I would like you to state your name, your location, and the economic issues you will want to discuss in just less than 1 minute so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. Also, when you call, you have to lower the volume of your TV set. Don't increase it so that you hear yourself from the other side, because if you do that, we're not going to hear from you. All right, Princewill, you've just stated, giving us like a background and all of that. But do you think that Nigerians have actually witnessed or have experienced this economic recovery?
No. Like last time I was there, I said that we cannot. The growth we're experiencing is very minimal compared to what Nigerians want. The growth less than 1%, less than 2%, growth rate cannot really meet the expectation and earnings of Nigerians. Of course, you also agree with me that prices are always flexible up but rigid down. So it's not reflecting. Because even the growth we're experiencing is just a growth that is coming as a result of relative increase in the price of oil. So we are not really doing anything.
But they may also disagree with you. Officials of government that have told that will say, no, Nancy, we are doing stuff in agriculture. But let's take this caller from Gombe State. Usman, hello, good morning. How are you?
And your guest on television.
Is Usman there?
Hello, Nancy.
Yes.
Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine. I want to talk about the diversification of Nigeria economy to agriculture.
Okay, very quickly, Usman.
The issue of diversification of Nigeria economy to agriculture, you see, if we seriously want to, get something out of agriculture, the issue of, catching the herdsmen, farmers, all these things, if that thing is not resolved, there is no any development, no achievement that is going to be get on that diversification, except we are just going to frustrate ourselves. And secondly, again, if they succeeded in stopping the herdsmen, farmers, then they should, bring about the mechanization of agriculture, because we are living in absolute way of farming, and that will keep on giving us a negative result. And the population is growing on geometric rate, when the production is growing on arithmetical rate. So they have to, take something out of this thing and see the percentage that they projected into agriculture. If seriously they want to, not paying it by much or lot. That is my own observation.
Thank you very much, Usman. Thank you. Usman actually called from Gombe State, and is of the view that the farmer headsman crisis should be, addressed. He talked also about diversification. Is that very critical at this point?
Definitely, definitely. I concur with him. It's critical. We can't expect to drive an inclusive economic growth, a growth that will be driven by the agricultural sector when farmers cannot go to the farm. So it cannot, it can't work that way. So we can only experience a situation, we expect a situation where farmers can go to the farm.
Okay,
but we support them.
Let me just halt you a bit. Hello and good morning. Who's on the line, please? Your name, your location.
Hello?
Hello, who's on the line? Quickly, what's your name and your location?
I'm Professor Ramadu. I'm an Omar here.
Okay.
University of Agriculture.
Okay, please talk to us about what you think about the economy very quickly.
Yes.
Can you go ahead, please?
Okay. Yes, the economy is yes, the economy is forthcoming.
Go ahead. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set?
Turn down. Let me turn down.
Turn it down, yes. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. What I'm saying is that our economy, our interest rate, and the exchange rate should not depend on the economy of U.S. As your guest there is saying, research, our own economy is quite different from the U.S. economy. We are an emerging economy, and the indices that work in America may not work with us now. We have to look inwards. The diversification of the present administration is in order. We have so much abundance in this country that, since the current administration has now, directed attention to agriculture, we have noticed, tremendous, increases in the food production of this country.
Okay, I think, Prof, I'm going to halt you there. I think you've made your point, because a lot of people also want to contribute to the show. But you're saying that we shouldn't depend on the U.S. economy. I think the point is well taken. Let Princewill, let him react to your submission. Thank you.
Okay, I like the view of Prof. But we live, it's easier said that our economy, whatever happens in U.S. economy does not affect the economy. It's
but it does.
Said. But it does. It does. That's the issue. So if America increases their interest rate today to 3%, I tell you, a whole lot of foreign direct investment in Nigeria, they would actually sell off just move. You know, investors sometimes we say they are prostitutes, but they use that word. They will just go to America and invest. So we live in a globalized world. So whatever affects, okay, look at Rwanda and America.
What is happening over?
What is happening? So
and all of that.
Imagine economies is interrelated.
Okay, Ima is calling from Lagos. Ima, how are you today? Is Ima there? Oh, okay. We've lost him actually. So continue. Please.
So to me, I disagree with Prof. You know, the whole economy in the world is related.
But don't you also think he has a point in the sense that we should try to diversify?
Of course.
Perhaps because what he said, what works in the United States may not work here.
we don't.
Perhaps
we don't
it's also
just, we don't just
about
take
policies.
a blanket policy because it's working in US, so let's adopt it to work. The indexes, okay, look at political financing law in US, the way it works in US. To a certain extent, in as much as they are still struggling to, you know, make it work, to a certain extent, it's working over there. But here in Nigeria, it's not working in line with the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. Now, if you look at it, you know that those specifications, those requirements, INEC, you know, developed to ensure that this is the benchmark for which we expected to spend for this particular position. It's not working here. I agree. But what we are looking at is that we also need to look at what is happening in our, maybe China, US. These economies, they have cross-cutting effects on other countries.
Okay, there's another caller, Obas, here in Abuja. Obas, how are you? Good morning to you. What's your submission?
Morning.
Morning.
How is it work?
Very well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay, give us your submission in less than 1 minute.
I think the problem is that the president has to call his economic team in order to bring out the problems and to address the problem, and later you should call on the economy to come and discuss and advise him concerning the socio-economic and political growth in the country.
Okay.
So I think that's the best solution.
Okay, thank you very much, Abbas. Abbas is of the view that, you know, the government, there's an economic team that they should be able to address the concerns of the country. You know, there was a time that a lot of people did not even believe there was an economic team.
Yes.
Because they didn't even feel their impact. Yeah. People did not even know that the president had an economic advisor in the person of Dr. Adeyemi Dikbeolu. I think I've hosted him quite a few times on the show. What do you think? Is the economic team doing as much as they should do, just like Obas here in Abuja submitted?
It's a very controversial question. But to me, I feel I expected more.
From the economic team?
From the economic team. I think as a Nigerian, I expected more. I feel they should do more. Let me just leave it there. They should do more.
What do you want them to do?
One, somebody like me, I expected a situation where...
Okay, sorry, Princewill, let me hold you again. James is calling from here in Abuja. James, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the program. I think I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Keep watching. So what's your own issue concerning the economy this morning?
Yes, concerning the economy that I want to speak. I want to speak concerning the aspect of agriculture.
Okay.
But if we want agriculture to be the means to boost our source of economy in the country, we should invite a very refined system, modernized, of agriculture. You know, we just know that good farms produce, but our preservation technology is very poor. Our packaging and exporting of products is very poor. Are we going to make all this thorough production in agriculture for only consumption people? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, James. James is of the view, his issue about the economy is that we should do more in agriculture. Innovation in agriculture is still very poor, according to James. What do you think?
I think we really need to do a whole lot of integration integrated farming, that is really where people are going now. Yeah. So it's no longer, this is the period of orange. If you go out there, you will see orange everywhere. You go there, you will see corn everywhere. But after this season, what happens? It becomes scarce. During the period of tomato, you see people, you go to the market, one basket of tomato, 500 because it's the season. After that, sometimes
tomatoes is even expensive now.
Now because it's rainy season, of course, so
yeah,
it's no longer there.
But should we also depend on seasonal farming?
Exactly, that's what we are saying.
Shouldn't we go beyond?
We need to add value.
Yes.
We need to add value. I did a research last 2016 on value addition. Africa, we are the lowest. You know, when countries like Netherlands are talking of agricultural production, so we cannot really be saying the same. But I also want to make another comment on what the earlier speaker said on what we really expect this government to do. Now, we are talking about inclusive growth and sustainable growth. We cannot, continue to be filing out or producing reports saying the GDP is increasing while we are losing jobs.
Sam is calling from Abuja. Sam, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Nancy?
I'm fine. The weather is actually good here in Abuja.
Right.
Yes.
I want to talk about the economy of the country and particularly agriculture.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the economy team said they struggle to get out of recession. But today, if the price of crude oil crashes to $25 per barrel, they are back to economic recession. And so the government have to work to diversify the economy, especially on agriculture. If you go to the market to purchase a fertilizer today, the price is about 7,000 to 9,000 naira, which the ordinary citizen farmer cannot afford. In the inception of this government, this is about 3 years plus now. I've not seen them, building a fertilizer factory or companies where fertilizers are produced, purchasing of equipment like tractors, planters, and other equipment.
No, but the government is coming up with those processes. I do know that Nigeria now has like about 15,000 tractors, but I think the last time the president traveled abroad, he did also, I think, to the United States. Yes, there were negotiations on bringing tractors to the country. I also do know that there are plans to build fertilizer blending plants and all of that.
Well, how long will it take to plant, to start building fertilizer plants when they know the problem of this country? These farmers need fertilizers. They need their input. All these things are not available. So where will the food come from?
Okay.
And you are blocking borders. You say you want food. Where you want people to feed from? And that is why hunger is killing many people.
Okay, I think you've made your point, Sam. I think you've made your point. Thank you very much, because the other callers on the line. Thank you. Sam is of the view that the government should also still improve concerning agriculture. He did mention that if crude oil, for example, the price crashes to $25, that
we'll go back to
we'll go back to the same stage where we were some years ago. He also did mention a bag of fertilizer now is going for about 7,000 naira, that the government should do a lot in terms of,
it's a channel. We look at the inputs, which is where he was actually coming from. You talk of fertilizer, you talk of seedling, you talk of tractors and all the rest of those are inputs. Now, even before the output, the process, how do we even ensure that the one that is produced actually gets to the market?
The ones
so
that's
production channel, that process, we need to look at it. On paper, we've been talking about silos, institution and building of silos across the country. How many actually functioning? So I feel that is also another area we need to look at. Not only the input that is the issue. We also need to look at storage. It's important.
We have silos around the country.
How many are working?
How many are working?
So I think I think the recommendation should be let our silos start working so that we can store. We can preserve some of these products. I think it will help.
Okay. Carol is calling from Port Harcourt. Hello, Carol. Hello, Carol, are you there? Okay.
Carol is calling from... Hello, Carol.
Yeah, good morning, ma.
Good morning. How are you?
Hello, Carol, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Please, Carol, turn down the volume of your TV set. I can hear myself from your end, from your TV.
Good
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Carol. How is Port Harcourt this morning?
Yeah, I just want to.
Carol, calm down with holding on your TV, and I can hear myself from your TV.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good morning. About the economy of Nigeria you are talking about. I think Buhari is doing well. We still need more about the agric in the Niger Delta region for them to improve on the agric in the Niger Delta region, not only the north, because Buhari is really doing a lot of good things regarding agric. I think I appreciate what the president is doing in this country.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carol. Carol is of the view that the president is doing quite well in agriculture, as well as in the Niger Delta region. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, at least for now, there is relative peace in the Niger Delta. So we are not hearing of bombing and all the rest of them. So I think for whatsoever policy, whatsoever negotiation that went into ensuring that there is peace in the Niger Delta, is a good one. Kudos to Mr. President.
Okay. Let's also take reactions from our social media platforms, not just the phone. Chuka on Twitter, I say, from the grassroots, life is generally getting more difficult because those responsible for our policy implementations and reforms are more interested in 2019 than the real reason we put them into office. May God assist the poor. Still on Twitter, let's see if we can get more messages. Omogbalahan says the agricultural drive of the federal government is a step in the right direction. However, Aso Rock under President Buhari and the economic team under the ascendancy of Professor Shibajo must do more in the areas of security. The effect may not be wholly impactful when farmers can go to the farm. That's his view on our Twitter. Let's see if we can take more of your comments. Okay, just keep them coming. You can chat me up on Nancy, that's on Twitter. Also on Twitter, you can find us Moneyline AIT and drop your comments as well as your opinions. Okay.
So Nancy, I have basically 3 recommendations. You see, unemployment is on the rise. And until we address the issue of unemployment in Nigeria, the masses, might not be able to feel the growth in GDP. As of today, I was actually going through the NBS reports, about 16-point-something million of the 85 million. So this is huge. So I feel all efforts should be geared towards reducing the unemployment rate. That is one. 2, if the CBN want to increase the MPR from this 14%, of course, the intention is to reduce the money in circulation so we can.
Princewill, sorry I'm halting you. A lot of our viewers want to contribute.
Yeah.
Danjuma from Abuja is calling. Danjuma, how are you doing? Contribute very quickly. Is Danjuma still there? Okay. We can't get that, Danjuma. So you were on the second point.
Yeah, so the second point is, now we want to increase the MPR, at least to still maintain, to still keep our economy at a very profitable and attractive enough to attract foreign direct investment. It's a good one. But then what happens to the SMEs who may wish to access funds? I think we should do a structural or sort of staggered investment structure for SMEs, where we can be giving them at a single digit, then why we increase the MPR at a double digit, so that at that point in time, the government SMEs can at least have access to cheaper capital, which is very important at this point in time. Because if care is not taken, we might have a high interest rate, and the SMEs will not be able to access such a facility.
Chigozie is calling from Kaduna. Chigozie, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah, Chigozie, how are you doing? How is Kaduna?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay.
And you?
I'm well. Shoot quickly on the economic issue you want to talk about. You have less than 45 seconds.
Okay. What I want to speak in is that as long as I'm concerned, I have not seen the improvement in the economy of this country. Because the reason why I said so is that I see no reason why a whole country like Nigeria will depend on only oil. We have a lot of mineral resources that we can tap from and make a better life to the life of the, the poverty. Because what I'm saying is this, it's like those regionals doesn't know that a common man on the street cannot be able to feed, cannot be able to pay house rent, cannot be able to pay his shop rent.
Okay.
Even business, as I'm talking to you now, is going down very steadily. So I don't see any growth when you talk about the economy of this country.
Okay, I think, thank you very much, Chigozie. Chigozie is of the view that the common man can feed, business is going down, the common man can pay his rent and all of that. He also did talk about no improvement, that there's really no improvement.
Yeah.
Very quickly answer that in
like
your
I
third
said,
submission.
Like I said, prices are flexible up and rigid down, so we can't really feel it. Nigerians, when I talk about Nigerians, I'm inclusive.
I'm also there.
Because exactly, so I go out there,
so
I go out to
it.
the market,
Yes.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Prices, we are saying the interest rate is falling, the inflation rate is falling. We are not feeling it. But I want to encourage Nigerians that let's just, keep hope alive, but it will get better.
Okay, the third recommendation.
Now, the third recommendation I was going to give is that we need to use at this point in time, our focus, all our effort should be to ensure that investors' confidence is retained in Nigeria. So the security apparatus, the political players, so everybody have to ensure. Because if we don't, with the tension globally, so if there is this perceived political tension also in Nigeria, or instability in Nigeria, it's going to affect Nigeria, specifically the more. So my pledge and prayer to Nigerians is that let us please, any action you want to take, any decision you want to make, think Nigeria first, because it's very important. Whenever a company carry out pest analysis, that's political, economic, social, and technological analysis. Now, whenever that analysis is done, and the country like Nigeria ranked high on political, because the political part of that PEX analysis is giving more weight, because of course politics determines determines technological adaptation, determines economic policy, determines social cohesion, and all the rest of them. So if the weight is so much, most times foreign investors will not go to that country. So it's important that we will gauge any action, and even those who goes on social media, write and talk, we just need to gauge it at this point in time.
Okay. We have another caller. Very quickly. I can hear myself from your end. Okay, let's take this comment coming through on Twitter. Solo B says, the people ruling us today enjoy their days when they were young, which was made possible by their parents and leaders then. Now they have grown up. How are they managing the economy for the younger ones growing to become future leaders?
Social security.
That's Solomon from Kubwa.
Social security.
Is it just about social security?
Social security and incentive to develop. Some people are ahead. When they were going to school, they were on government scholarship. Those are just incentive for you to go to school. Some of them, I stand to be corrected, couldn't have gone to school without those opportunities. So that is, to me, when somebody like...
Okay. Hello, you are our last caller for today. Quickly. What's your name and where are you calling from?
From Abuja.
Okay, go ahead very quickly.
The issue of our economy, let me just talk about the diversification on the farming sector. The Fulani herdsmen issue has been coming, but until Nigerians decided to welcome themselves as one, if your government will not do anything to stop it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your submission. Yeah. Does he have a valid point?
Of course, he does.
That we need to look at, you talked about social cohesion. So we need to come together as one.
It's important.
What brings us together is more than what divides us, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's better we are together than we are separated.
Definitely. Definitely, it's better we are. A united Nigeria is better. But one thing I will always submit anywhere I have the opportunity is that for those who are calling for restructuring, for those who are calling for anything you want to call it, but we need to build and give Nigerians incentive to develop.
No, but the thing also, the clamor for restructuring is there. Yeah, I don't want to go into that issue because that will be another discussion
So
for another day. Because a lot of people are also saying
what
that they
are
are
the
not
dynamics?
feeling, you know, the impact of governance. Perhaps that's why they are also clamoring for
Exactly. So
a lot
what
of
to
things.
so to the other part, the issue I was trying to talk about is on political financing. INEC have to wake up and actually monitor 1 billion for presidency only, 200 million for governor. That is what INEC. That is what the amendment had
Okay,
said.
so you're talking
So,
of financing,
financing,
campaign financing.
exactly. We make sure that we restrict it to that. If
Okay.
not, it's going to bring a whole lot of changes in dynamics, our economic indices. So
Okay,
I
I
think it
think-
need to be put into serious check.
Okay, thank you very much because we've run out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Princewill, for coming on the program
Thank you for
today.
having me.
Of course, I've been speaking with Princewill Eziukwu, a development finance expert, and to our lovely viewers out there, a lot of calls from different parts of the country, from Gombe, Port Harcourt, Kaduna,